What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Jdiesel coming at you live with another episode of Under the Radar. And tonight, we have my partner in crime, as always, Grandmaster Floki. How are you doing, my man?
I'm gonna be real with you. We'll get into it later. I swore, I almost was correct with Fat Janemba being revealed.
I mean,
It looked like it was gonna happen, and I was like, "Is this dude gonna transform?" Because like what they did with GT, but nonetheless, everything is good.
now
We have our LCQ tomorrow.
we do
For
for Wrath of the Mix. Now,
Yeah.
I seem to notice in the upper left hand side we got a Teen Gohan and a GT Goku. Now I gotta ask Floki, who could it be?
I mean, he rotated from GT Goku as well. He plays Kid Buu as well, so he has a roster now.
Exactly. And tonight our guest of honor is going to be Callie Mack. Floki, summon this man.
I will now.
But
give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm going to summon this dude. But yeah, no, Callie Mack, he's been up and coming. He did really well at Defend the North. So we're gonna get him in here right now, boys.
Absolutely. Summon the squad. Oh, it's woo.
This is what happens when you have to summon the Gohan, ladies and gentlemen. You have to do the craziest things. The craziest things.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no. Callie Mack's just finishing up his stream, which is over at twitch.tv /Callie_Mac. He's been really on a stream grind.
Yeah, he has. He's really made a lot of big moves, and he's kind of wrapping up here, and we are ready to get into it.
Yeah.
And so Callie Mack, Teen Gohan, right? This character has kind of been in a interesting spot. Has kind of moved all up and down the tier list, to be perfectly honest. I remember at the very start, people went, stubby normals, this character doesn't work, what are we gonna do?
Right. You have all these negatives, and now you almost saw him make multiple top 8 appearances this past weekend.
Yes.
At the biggest tournament of the year.
Yeah, I mean,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's really made big gains, and I think a part of that is a lot more people started giving him credit, because I think originally he had some issues in terms of because remember our season 1 meta, we weren't nearly as good as fuzzy pressure
or snap mix,
right? Those things just didn't really exist for the most part.
True.
And I think we've made a lot of adjustments over the course of the game to, kind of address that. And those things have made Teen Gohan better, because characters at the very start, do you remember season 1 where it was like Cell, Kid Buu? Oh, here we go. It is the gang themselves. Kite, how are you doing, my man? Always a pleasure.
No,
the raid is inbound.
The raid is inbound. Does Callie Mack have a name for his chat?
Yeah, what is Callie Mack? What is the name of your chat?
If y'all have a name, I have for me, right? I have the Pancake House. Right?
Yo, don't mind the black screen, guys. The webcams will be on. I'm just getting some stuff shuffled around in the background right here as we get Callie Mack in here.
Yeah. So yeah, Callie, do us a favor and jump into this call.
Is that him?
Is that the Gohan himself?
Man, the myth, the legend, we out here, you feel me?
Oh, we feel you. How are you doing, Callie Mack? What is good, my man?
We out here, you feel me? I'm excited to be here now.
Absolutely, and we're excited to have you here on Under the Radar. So, Callie, tell me, how is it been? For those of you that may not know the man, the myth, the legend.
You heard?
The Gohan.
The Gohan.
Oh, man, you get me hyped. Chill.
So, why don't you tell the chat a little bit about yourself, all the people at home who are listening. Who is Callie Mack?
Alright, boom, bam, shaboom. You feel me? I go by Callie Mack now, man. FGC player slash musician for me. I got into FGC Dragon Ball Z. I mean, honestly, Dragon Ball Z the first game in FGC. I really, pulled me into it. I mean, and I've just been in ever since. It's been like a year now.
Yeah.
I came in, and Team Gohan has always been my favorite character in Dragon Ball. I mean, so
Yep.
when I can play as him in the game, I'm like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I'm about to do this now. Oh, can I curse? My bad. I'm not good to.
You're good. Just keep it PG-13.
No, you good. You good. You good.
That's
you good.
it. That's it.
I ain't gonna OD. I bet. But that is, like Team Gohan is like that's my guy. Feel me? So I got a chance to play him in the game. I'm gonna do that, and then I just stuck with the character, and I think that's what really made me go so hard in the game. I got a character that I really mess with, that I could really excel with, know what I mean? And I just want to push him to his limit, know what I mean? So that's what we at now, and now we here. Know what I mean?
Oh,
Not-
I
not
got
me.
you.
Not me. Not me. We got you.
I mean,
We got you.
It's
and
New York. I mean, I'm on my New York type time, know what I mean?
Yeah, I know you good. So we were talking before you jumped on about Teen Gohan and his kind of placement throughout season 1 and season 2, and after this past Evo, where we had two really high level Teen Gohan into Kill Sage and Kaimart, barely not making it and getting ninth place respectively. How do you feel now with Teen Gohan in the meta versus before, where he was just kind of just like lost in the shuffle?
Well, Team Gohan is basically going through 3 stages, know what I mean?
Okay.
Day 1 Team Gohan was undiscovered. A lot of his stuff was undiscovered, and people like Raw Kid, Houdini, shouts out to them. Like, they really laid the blueprint for Team Gohan. And as the game went on, more and more people started to realize, including the developers, which is why they nerfed him in the patch before last patch. They nerfed him. They nerfed his legs. They had landing recovery. There was a whole bunch of hoopla, you feel me? And it just really messed up the character, know what I mean? And a lot of people fell off. And only the real dedicated stayed with him, know what I mean? Shouts out to myself, know what I mean?
Callie, I'm glad you think you're a real one. Because if you don't tie yourself down, nobody's going
You
to.
can't give yourself your own clout. What kind of clout can you gain?
like
You feel me?
Like, even though if you look at my Twitter, I mean, Team Gohan is represented by the Team Gohan Army. So most people on Twitter got TGA in their name. Know what I mean, I got TGA OG. You feel me?
Oh my god.
Damn. Yo, it's actually, so kind of talking about the TGA for a second. The TGA is low-key a cult. It's actually a cult. It's actually a cult. Like, so there was one time I was streaming and I asked about Teen Gohan. I texted Callie Mac. I remember this.
Yeah.
And then I got bombarded with like about guides and everything. I'm like, there is so much depth to this character. It's kind of baffling. People like Bamkey, like you mentioned, Rocket in the UK, yourself. You even seen different players in New York as well, picking up the character with the Kill Sage and Faulty thing being notables on that. So it's really interesting to see this character kind of develop in the meta, whereas before it's kind of like...
Yeah, right, because with this last patch, know what I mean? Because after he was whacked, that patch before this patch, and there was a lot of outcry from the community, especially the Team Gohan community. There was a lot of outcry. Like, I was in the Discord, people were literally, shouts out to Houdini, we were literally emailing Bamkai on a weekly basis.
That's
trying to get the changes reversed, to try to get something different. I mean, because it was messed up. We went from really good, like low-key, high tier, high mid-tier. I mean, we went from really good to complete, like, bad. We were bottom 10. Team 1 was bottom 10 in the game, feel me?
All right, that makes sense. It makes sense.
Like, this recent patch in February,
Blackout for a second.
he really decided to shine. Where they really, they gave him a lot of his stuff back, and it allowed him to shine, and it really allowed him to find a place in the top tiers in the meta.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, you gotta be thankful for this last patch, because I don't know where I would be if I was still 2 patches ago.
Now,
Yeah.
I got
after land stuff,
makes sense. I gotta ask though, Callie, because it's kind of like what you talked about, right? It's like Teen Gohan. He went through this change, this journey, where like he was completely slept on. Everyone thought he was busted, and now he's kind of like in this middle ground where he's like a known entity, but people still aren't quite sure where to put him. And I
Right.
gotta ask for you two things. One, what made you want to play Teen Gohan? Well, what made you a Gohan Army OG? And two, what do you think as a character separates Gohan in this game, Teen Gohan, from a lot of the cast to make him worth playing?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see. Well, for the second question, I feel like Team Gohan, he's he has a lot of stuff that makes him different. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of it has to do with the character himself more so than the mechanic. Because he got the lightning leg mix-ups. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Right.
He got this, that, and the third. But a lot of what separates him from the rest of the cast, I think it's more so with the character. And I mean, I think people really like everybody I ask. Team Gohan is like top 3 favorite characters in the series. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
True.
have that into him when they play with him. It's not even necessarily about the mechanics or what he does better or worse. Because Truth he's good, but a lot of it is mostly his auto combo and his legs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
Now, I mean, without his auto combo and his legs, I mean, he's an okay character, But so
Yeah.
a lot of it has to do with just the nostalgia. And I mean, we all grew up on that Cell versus Team Gohan fight.
Oh my God, yeah.
I was waiting for you to mention that. Like, I feel like that fight in particular was so iconic. Like, it was almost on the levels of like, and it's interesting too that how they put like adult Gohan in the game as well with like, and like it made him true to form when he fought Super Boo. So it's kind of interesting to see both characters in the same game rather than two iconic fights. Um,
Definitely. Sure. It's cool. It's definitely cool. Gotta respect it. I honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of forgot the first question. If you could remind me again.
Nah, you're good.
No, you're good. I mean, you actually kind of answered part of it, which was me talking about like why did you want to play this character, and like that nostalgia is real because like I would say the vast majority of the player base for Dragon Ball, minus Lord Knight, because you didn't watch Dragon Ball. You told us on the one you were on here.
Yeah,
What?
he stated I didn't watch Dragon Ball.
Yeah, Lord Knight was like very straightforward about it. He was like, nah, I didn't watch Dragon Ball. He's like, I don't care who these characters are. I just want what's cheap. And I'm like, all right, okay, I respect
Yeah,
that.
it's like, no, he likes Trunks.
He did say Trunks was cool, but that's for the memes, right? That's not for the show.
Very
But
true.
a lot of
Very
us
true.
did grow up on Dragon Ball, like that shit. Like that's our childhood. And I would
Right.
say like one of the high points of the series, like the single hand Kamehameha against Cell. Come on.
Iconic.
Easy top 3 moment in the entire series. Am I?
Iconic.
You're not lying at all. Know what I mean? And that nostalgia, I think, not only brings people to Team Gohan, but I think just the whole nostalgia and the fan base behind Dragon Ball Challenge just made the game what it is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just picked it up off the strength of this Dragon Ball. We all grew up on it. You know what I mean? And then while this game is far from perfect, it's a good game. You know what I mean? I complain about it all day. I'll be mad at this game every day, and I'll be right back to it because it's a fun game and it's good.
Right.
And add the Dragon Ball nostalgia to it, and you have what we have today, which is the DBFC community. You know what I mean?
No, I definitely agree. I think, and especially like it brought that hype to Evo, which just happened this past Saturday, concluded yesterday. Besides Dragon Ball, did you guys check any other top 8s or tournaments or announcements? Anything catch your eye?
I saw the new Guilty Gear. The new Guilty Gear looks cool. I've never played Guilty Gear, but just looking at the trailer as someone who's never seen it before, like, oh, this looks cool. I wouldn't mind giving it a try. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What about you, Jay?
I got a Guilty Gear. Definitely is one of the things that stood out for me. Street Fighter Top 8 was also wild.
Yeah, top 8 would agree with that.
So I mean, those were really the two big things. And I didn't catch all of Top 8 for Tekken. Yo, but that last set,
Oh, I actually did see the grand finals for Tekken. That was crazy.
Ash is so
yo,
good.
Ash is nutty.
Yeah, scary,
Like that's the cool
Yeah.
thing. Like there's so many different regions that are underexplored, and it's so many.
And you know,
and, like, Ash, but we gotta talk about that Evo Dragon Ball Fighters tournament. Was it everything you wanted? Was
Nah,
it was it expected to be Goichi versus Sonic Fox?
it was lit. It was lit. It was lit. It was lit. And I think that they was definitely expected to meet at some point.
Yeah.
Winners finals, grand finals, heck, even semifinals. I mean, they were definitely expected to meet at some point because they're both. I mean, top two players in the world. They're first and second at Evo. Top two players in the world right now. You know what I'm saying? So
No, I agree.
they were destined to meet. And I mean, it was and probably lit in the finals, honestly. Winners finals was crazy, yo.
Yeah, for real. I think winners finals is gonna go like for Evo this year is gonna go down in the history books for Dragon Ball. Goichi. Let's talk about this for a second. Goichi's had the craziest moments in Dragon Ball so far. Like
The
he
match
had that
versus
match
Left
with
at
Leffen.
CEO. Yep.
Exactly that. You have this whole arc with Sonic Fox. Him like overcoming hand injury. To come back and win Evo. I think it's a really big testament to what the man has
Do
put in
you
the work.
do you guys remember towards the end of season 1 where everyone was saying Goichi was washed? Why did he ever drop adult Gohan? Why did he ever drop adult Gohan? Goichi is washed. I remember so many people at the time were talking about how Go is never going to be top again. And
I remember that.
Here's my take. Here's what I thought of their meeting, Sonic. I almost cried watching the matches between Sonic Fox and Goichi. And the reason was they showed us something that we have never seen. The level of play in winners and grand finals was higher than anywhere else we have ever seen in any match of Dragon Ball FighterZ. They literally elevated the game.
Absolutely.
Through those two sets. And like I know people like it was amazing and like the emotional aspects, all of it, right? But literally the actual play was beyond godlike. Like I was sitting down and like I started like looking over some of the footage. The reactions between each other's habits, the movement, the spacing, everything. Yeah, and actually I agree. It's Bradham. You kind of hit it. I think Winners Finals was better than Grand Finals.
Also, shout out to Brad Muse in the chat, representing Massachusetts gang.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel like Winners Finals is gonna go down, and I've talked like I was talking to Faulty Thing about it. It was something that we dream about. We all talk shit about Dragon Ball FighterZ here and there, like you mentioned before, Callie. Like it's an extraneous game. It's not a versus game, but it has those moments that can make you like can really make or break you. But like those moments of a match like we had in Winners Finals, Grand Finals, is a testament to where the game is gonna go. And the beauty of the game and how it's gonna progress.
Yo, they were playing Dragon Ball in 2025. That's what we were watching right there. Like that's next level Dragon Ball.
That's season like 5 Dragon Ball. They were playing like we're all in season 2. This man's they were in season 5.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think it's really important to like look at that and look at the rest of Evo. We had a lot of players. I think one player that I think a lot of people, myself included, that like because we did predictions over on this channel, which you can watch the VOD of that. Over on the like if you go out of here and like in the mobile and you go check that out, like check the videos, right?
Yes.
Me, myself, Jdiesel, and Sweet JP, we went over Evo in its entirety. One player that we did not mention was Hero.
Now I gotta ask, where did this man like? I saw Fighting Tuesday turn up, and
he's a friend guy, so
yeah. Callie, talk to us. What was your take on Toppy? I wanna hear your thoughts on this.
It's crazy. Like I expected. First, there were so many good players at Evo that there was some people that I expected to make it that didn't make it that I was so shocked at. Like the person that was most shocking to me that didn't make it was Bon. Like I'm a big Bon fan, and I was surprised to see that he didn't make it. I think he lost to Fenready like 2 rounds before the top 8, but he's a really good player, so I was surprised he didn't make it. some American players like the Kill Sage. Apology Man was playing out his mind, but he only got ninth. But he was playing
Oh
really
my god, his set was heartbreaking.
This the set against Shanks, it, honestly, like that set could have went either way, and I feel like that's something important to look at too. There was a lot of players when we did and Jay, you remember this last week when we talked about top eight. We
Yep.
were predicting it. Literally, it could. We said Hook was gonna make top eight. The man's got 25th.
Yeah.
I did. I had Hook Gang God in my top eight. I
We had people like
100%
to
did.
top eight, and it's like it kind of goes to the testament of the game where the game is progressing. Like I mentioned before, it's
Yeah.
going to a point where you're having these couple consistent players, but you're seeing like a handful of players that can take that spot in an instant.
Absolutely.
People like Beneath, people like to Kill Sage. You know, you have people like Keimer who almost made it. You have Oakland God.
Gio Goichi, man. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That was a
You have
beast.
so many different players and like so many different characters now. I think every single character was represented at Evo in some way, in some capacity. So
Yeah.
like not I don't know the like complete like breakdown from top 64. I know for top 32 there was a lot of character variety.
No,
Um
definitely. It's good to
so
see. I mean, especially considering, the way this meta has evolved. I feel like right now we're seeing the most variety that we've ever seen, honestly.
I 100% agree. I think that we have really gotten to kind of see the meta open up a lot,
true.
which is like really kind of surprising because I think a lot of people thought we were only going to see 3 characters this weekend, right? Like we were gonna see Goku, Bardock, and GT Goku. Now, granted, we saw all of those characters, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't only them. So hold on, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have the character frequency distribution next to me.
Awesome.
2.
Also, we gotta give a shout out to Chris G. He was the only team Gohan in top 8.
Oh yeah. Shout out Chris G. That's my guy. I actually had a chance to get to talk with him for a little bit at Defend the North.
Really?
And yeah, he's real cool. He's a really cool guy, man. I'm really happy he made it to the top 8 and represented TGA. I mean,
Yeah, that's definitely like you definitely had like there was a guarantee for at least one member of TGA to be represented like in a top 8.
yeah.
I think the one character that no one also Hero plays Team Gohan.
He plays Team Gohan in 17. Like
Yeah,
that's
which is it's an interesting team. It's like playing 18 with a DP, so
yeah.
it's kind of like it's interesting to have for sure. But yeah, you had 2 Team Gohans at top 8 this past weekend, one in winners and one in losers. So it was really interesting to see that character played in 2 different styles, right? You had Hero playing him on anchor versus Chris G, who you had him right on point with
Yep.
2 assists. So you have he's one of those characters, and I kind of like how I talk about Piccolo as well. There's a handful of characters in this cast where I feel like you could play them freestyle. What I mean by that is that you can play them on almost every position.
Yes.
There is some characters that have limitations. Going back to Piccolo, for example, like playing him on anchor isn't the best idea. Whereas like he's better on point or mid. Whereas a Team Gohan, you can put him on any single position, and you can have any single style with him. If you want a rush down style, you can have 2 assists. You want to play an anchor, you want to play that level 3 sparking style, you have that. You have so many different styles with a lot of different characters in the cast that now you're seeing explored. And I think this top 8 in particular has shown that.
Agreed. I very much agree. And so, looking at the character frequency for top 32, right? We had 26 different characters show up in top 32.
How many characters in the cast?
33.
26 out of 33 characters.
There were 7 characters who did not appear.
That's crazy.
So we had a lot of variety. Now, there were 4 characters that made it on over 10 teams.
Right.
Which 4 characters do you both think they were?
I already know who it is.
I already know too.
Right.
It's the obvious 4.
Yep. SSJ. SSJ was the most popular character this weekend.
I'm not surprised.
He showed up the most, followed by Bardock in second, followed by GT Goku in third, And rounding it out is Kid Buu in 4th.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
No,
Mhm.
that's a crazy thing. Didn't you say that SSJ Goku's gonna get more representation than GT Goku? This
I
past
did call
weekend, Jay?
this. Yep.
Oh,
Yo,
good.
you doubted me. Oh, and by the way, I pulled up our top 8 predictions for Evo.
Stop!
And
No!
I'm sorry. I've got to get these receipts out right here. But according to this piece of paper directly in front of me with my notes on it, you fared so in last place, guessing 3 out of 8 correctly. It's Floki.
Damn it! No!
I hate to see that.
In second place, guessing 4 out of 8 correctly, Sweet JP.
You got it all.
And in
Wow.
first place, with 5 out of 8 correct, is Jdiesel. So
Hey.
you gotta hold that one, Floki.
Yo.
Hey, Flo.
Yo, next saga event, I got you. Homie.
Oh, okay. Next saga?
yo,
All right.
I'm running it back.
Okay, catch me next saga then.
I'm on my run back.
So
100%.
now I gotta say, we'll kick it over to Callie Mac. Callie Mac, talk to us about Evo, baby. How'd it go, man?
Yeah. No, I was actually day one. I was actually with my friends. I wasn't even home, and I was glued to my phone the entire time watching like pools and like up to like top 2 whatever. Then my friends like, yo, what you doing over there? They over here having fun and stuff. Like, nah, it's Evo, baby, wildin'. Gotta see this, know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
true.
First day was, it was pools. Now I mean, there was some good matches. There was some bad matches.
Yo, how do you guys feel about random pool matches? Like pool matches where it's not like a top player versus a rando, but where it's truly just 2 randos fighting each other.
I think, okay, here's my thing. I feel like what you should have did was had all the winners finals or the winner sides of pools being played on stream.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they were randoms for some reason, then yeah, makes sense. But if there was a top player that like you saw that hasn't gotten any screen time, like Goichi didn't get screen time until like quarters or semis.
I mean, I think that was also an intentional decision because he's going to be on screen for so long later. Because you know what I mean? Right.
So it's like one of those things.
Yeah, the pools matches I watched, some of them were really good, and there were others that were. It was Dragon Ball, and that's like all I'm legally allowed to say, right? And it was like, but you know what? One thing that I think a lot of people underestimate, watching at home, is like the amount of pressure competing. Even if you're at a pools match at Evo, I know when I got streamed at CEO my first time, I was stressed out of my mind, right? Like, because I was sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, this is CEO. This is like a super major. And my opponent's some sponsored guy. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get destroyed. And lo and behold, I did get destroyed. But, it's that kind of thing where it's, it's really, really stressful. Callie, how do you feel about it?
Well, I mean, a lot of it is, mentality. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, well, I mean, as far as being pools being streamed, I lost the whole topic. As far as pools being streamed, I feel like winners being streamed would be a good solution. Another solution that I've heard in the past is to just not stream pools, but I don't know how I feel about that one.
I like seeing pools because I think
you get personality. You definitely get personalities out of it.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm gonna be real with you. I wouldn't have been so hyped over the 7th gym leader. If you're ever watching the 7th gym leader, you have the most godlike name I've heard all weekend.
Yeah, that's
like, on God, this dude, like, the dude that beat him had already had 6 badges. So I was like, bro, this dude about to give out the 7th. That's OD.
No,
there was lore. So I was like, it's godlike. So I think having pool matches is very important. Just to kind of like, and plus like for those at home that might not like be able to like get stream matches back at home if your local team doesn't have a like
yes.
it's one of those things that like some of us are benefited with, or blessed with one. With Callie being over in New York, myself in CT, and Jdiesel with the DMV.
Yep.
It's really important that if you don't have a local scene for Dragon Ball and you like make it on stream, you watch that tape religiously, unless you're playing them.
It's huge.
Absolutely.
Unless you stream.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
a thousand.
what's your thoughts on it? What's your thoughts on it, guys?
I very much agree because I think part of it is like while there are complaints about the quote unquote rando matches, because this is kind of the discussion that was kind of raging a bit this weekend on Twitter, was there's people complaining like if you're going to show a trash match, don't show one at all.
Right.
And I think that's the wrong attitude. Purely because like the fact that somebody took the time and effort and money, right, to travel all the way out to Evo. Because the other thing is, I would rather watch bad Dragon Ball than watch no Dragon Ball.
That's right.
Right? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to fill dead space? You're going to put on, like, Sajam and somebody else and have them talk analytics for, like, 30 minutes? Like, no. I'd rather just watch some people play. And it's kind of like you were talking about. My first major was CEO, and I got streamed my first round. And for me, personally, I can say that was an experience that really affected my FGC trajectory. Because I got to go back even though I got cooked. And I got to listen to Hell Pockets, and I got to listen to Yipes. And I got to listen to them talk about my play, tell me to come back stronger and all these things. And that was a massive experience for me. And I think you give people that chance. Give them the lottery chance to make it on stream.
Yeah, if you're going to a major or a tournament, you might not be the most competitive player, but you're obviously somewhat competitive if you're entering a bracket.
Exactly.
That kind of experience is good for any type of competitive player.
True.
Whether you do good or bad. It's all about learning. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think too. Like, and you went to one of your very first majors with Defend the North, and like you being on stream and like there's a lot of players that like again kind of like I mentioned before like they might not have the opportunity because they might just drown in pools. Or the thing is, there's a pool match going on that's really hype, i.e., like I don't know, me versus Sonic Fox or me versus Hook from Defend the North 2018, right?
Right.
Like that was crazy because there was like a million people watching that. But like I think both have their places, right? Like you see some like random Johnny Bag of Notes. Oh my God, Johnny Bag of Donuts getting got in pools, and then they was like, who's this? We need to put him on stream. So it kind of works in tandem. And also too, like Bum is a really good example where Bum tries to put everybody on.
Yeah, definitely.
At some point, yeah, like Bum, like I know over here we do that. I know over at DMV you guys do that. I think it's just like it goes to a testament. It's like where like if your scene is like has some type of healthy Dragon Ball scene or just a Dragon Ball scene in general.
Yeah.
Like giving players the opportunity to showcase what they have.
It's a big deal.
Speaking of showcasing, guys, we need to talk about something. Like kind of big. Kind of big. Like kind of huge.
Talk to us, Floki.
We gotta talk about the big boy himself. We gotta talk about Janemba, aka Fuzzy God 2.0. That man, I was watching that trailer.
Fuzzy God 2.0. I just hear what you said.
Yo, for real. Yeah. Like I feel like this character. Before we get into it, I feel like the way they did the reveal was so clean. Like I thought for the longest it was gonna be Fat Janemba.
I wanted it to be Fat Janemba. Literally just to tilt you, Floki.
No, I wanted Fat Janemba so I can not want to play him.
Oh my god. Yo, Janemba Piccolo incoming?
No.
Too fuzzy?
I still want PyCon. You know me. I want the boy. But let's talk Janemba, boys. We got the trailer for Janemba. We got the teaser for Gogeta. After an amazing top 8, how are you guys feeling about Janemba coming out this Thursday?
Well, I'm hoping that he's going to be good first and foremost.
Agreed.
That's really my biggest hope is that his moveset is not stupid, like bad stupid, like where it doesn't make sense. If it's good stupid, like GT is good stupid, you feel me? Like then I'll take it. Know what I mean? But I don't know because being a fuzzyable character in this game is actually is unfortunately a big
It's a liability.
Yeah.
it's a liability. You know what I mean? So hopefully his moveset offsets that. Like another big character, like the most top tier big character right now is probably Broly right now.
Right.
So if he can be on Broly level or better, to the point where people will still want to play him despite his size, then I can live with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that. Jay, how you feel? How you feel about him?
His kit has me a little worried. Not
Right.
because I think he's going to be broken, because I'm scared of how they cobbled together this kit. His kit looks a little disjointed for me. Now, granted, we have to see how a lot of these things are going to play out. This is one of the things that I personally don't like, is like when people watch the trailer and they're like, we're just going to rank this character based off this trailer. Because the problem is, like, even with GT Goku, right? Like, we saw, oh, he's going to be kind of good. No one knew how broken he was truly going to be. Until...
no.
I do love that he has like a oh my god, like a Gargos dimensional punch, which is
That's
like
so
kind of wild.
cool.
But so I'm wondering if it's just gonna be like Kid Buu-esque, where you hold like 1, 2, 3M, and it has like varying distances for like a dimensional punch based on that. And like he's got a cool looking kit. He is fuzzyable, which is obviously a knock against him, because the problem is that fact alone means he's going to have to work so much harder than Kid GT Goku to see play.
Absolutely.
I agree with
The
that.
bar is higher for him.
Definitely.
It's also going to be harder if he's not a point character off of that fact, because a lot of people, because of, being afraid of being fuzzy, they like to run the big characters, So if he doesn't operate on a point level, then he's going to see a lot less. He's going to see a lot less play too.
No, that's super, super smart, Callie. I actually hadn't even thought about that as much. Yeah, because you don't want to get snapped into fuzzy.
Yeah,
right.
That's the scary part. I think one thing too, and I was actually talking to a couple people about it. What really caught my eye, and I don't know if it's a special move or it's a Ki Blast, where he was shooting the Ki Blast from the portals. Now my thing is, if that's his assist, or I thought of 1 or 2 assists, right? I mean, your thing is the Ki Blast thingy, or he's a stomp.
I think he has. I think he has a projectile counter.
Like the
where he opens the portal, and like you see a projectile go in, and then he like throws the projectile back. I think he's got some type of like projectile counter thing in addition to that.
No, but yeah, you have like this Ki Blast move where in the trailer you had Goku like right next to Janemba.
Yeah.
He was just throwing Ki Blast. We don't know if that's his assist. That's nutty.
His assist is probably going to really make or break this character, to be completely honest.
I agree. But like,
determining factor for sure.
Yeah, he has 2 level 1s though, which is interesting.
Yep.
He has the full screen thingy, which is probably his DHC.
The rock tower thing, right?
Yeah, the rock tower thing. He has that. He has the sword, the Shining Slash 2.0.
Yep.
And my favorite thing is the level 3. I saw a video today, and I'm gonna call it that for the rest of the time. I don't know if y'all listen to lo-fi hip hop on YouTube or whatever, but I'm calling it the chilled cow.
I'm dead.
The chilled cow, level 3.
The chilled cow, dude.
Yo, dude, for real. I think that level 3 is really cool though, because if he recovers quick, because it doesn't show up how fast he recovers. If he recovers really quick out of like the animation, like that could be like an answer to what GT is be doing, because GT has Spirit Bomb right now. And I feel like what could happen is that you make this, you can do one of 2 things with it. You can make it like a beam-esque thing, where it's just like a full like beam, like a Kamehameha from like Gohan or something like that. Or you can make it like a mix-up. So like you can do that, and then you get like a 50-50 into a portal thing.
The only reason why I feel like I wouldn't bet on that too much is because they've been nerfing everybody else's level 3 OP so much.
Right.
I mean, they did just release GT Goku though.
But you know what? I also really feel like a shadow nerf is coming for GT.
Oh, the shot. Okay.
So you think a hidden nerf's coming this week?
I low key would not be surprised.
Y'all gonna be
Yeah.
practicing Jdiemba, and you're gonna go to bracket the next day, and you're gonna go for your Spirit Bomb Moki, and it's just
And
gonna
then
drop.
And then no, you're gonna see him go. They're gonna go full screen instead of going right next to you.
You
Yo.
get 0 Moki instead.
That's tough right there.
No, for real. I think I do agree with you on that, Callie. I think that could happen. Real quick too, Janemba's colors are actually garbage.
But you know what the thing about that is though? You've only seen 5 of the colors, and there's 12
I don't
colors.
trust
You
it.
know
I
what I
don't
mean?
trust it. I don't trust it, Callie. If his 11 and 12 aren't fire,
That's exactly what it is.
or
exactly
his
what-
9. Color 9 is low key underrated. Don't at
Yeah, I'm not.
Don't at me.
His colorways are a little sus. I mean,
They're-
colorway 3 looks okay.
Stop.
What?
Stop.
Colorway 3 does
No,
not look
it's
that
so
bad. The red
The
one?
only one it's sus. It looks sus. 4, sus.
Yeah,
Don't
so-
get me started on 6. The only one that looks okay, other than his default, is 5. Because 5 is the green one. And
What?
he looks like
Are you
Cell.
joking
Yeah.
me? Number 5, he
looks
looks
like
like the
Cell.
Jolly Green Giant. Oh my god, get that out of here. Get your peas and corn out of here. What are you talking
He
about?
likes his veggies, bro. What you mean he likes his veggies? But no,
Exactly,
Janemba
number
comes out-
3 for the Iron Man look. Oh my god, Zinc gets it.
That's clear.
That's yikes.
It's
I don't know
really
about me.
11 and 12 colors. That all black and all white. That's gonna be the decider. If
True.
it's just that.
Or you get or if they like just drop 15 colors with that money.
But you know they haven't done that with any of the other DLC, if I'm not mistaken. Like if the DLC drops after the holiday event or whatever, then there's just no deal. Then you just don't get any.
Which is a shame. I feel like they should add those colors like for everybody at the end of the season.
No,
Or
yeah.
just something like that.
But I agree with you on that one.
Also, so again, yeah, Janemba comes out this week. I know a lot of us are gonna be playing him
Yes.
just to try him out. I know Xanadu is proud. Are you guys doing anything special for Janemba?
I mean, I'm gonna probably push to have him legal.
Okay.
I think I want him legal. I know that a lot of people hate like when DLC characters are legal, but I don't
you
care.
know, it's the first tournament. It's whatever.
If you're
right?
crazy enough to bring the DLC character to first week,
You're
you deserve to
buck-wild.
play the character. That's kind of
You
how I
do.
feel about it.
And I know Bum is making Saturday the thing, which I mean, it kind of goes back to what you said before. It's like you kind of have an extra couple days with him, so I kind of understand that. You see both sides of the coin. Unfortunately, he's not coming out tomorrow, so he's not going to be there for the LCQ. That would have been ridiculous.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Like day one.
Oh
just
my
drop-
god,
one
day one
LCQ?
Janimba.
Someone qualifies for Wrath of the Mix with
I hope-
day one.
I really want Janimba to have like a solid assist because I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, I kind of want to run Ginyu Janimba purely
Sick.
because it just seems like I know somebody in the chat said they don't want him to be a gimmick character. I can feel it in my bones right now.
Yeah,
He's a gimmick character. I don't know
I
what his
think-
gimmick is, but he's gimmicky.
Yeah. I think
So-
there's a description of him somewhere.
Yeah, they put that
floating
he
around.
is extremely tricksy. That's
Definitely gimmick.
He's a gimmick character.
1,000% gimmick.
He's gonna do so. I hope he does something. Now this would never happen. Where you can like leave portals on screen to like absorb projectiles and stuff. Like it's too advanced for Dragon
That
Ball.
would be
They
so
won't do it.
sick.
But
Yo, like traps like Trish.
yes, exactly
Yo,
like that.
I would lose my shit. Yo, I was actually dabbling with Trish the other day. Like, so it's funny you bring we talk about Trish. If they put like a pseudo Trish in this game,
Well, I mean,
I would
part of it
lose
is
it.
they've tried to keep the mechanics relatively simple in terms of Dragon Ball. This is one thing, like, let me put it this way. There is a very real reason that zoners aren't good in this game. Arxis knew what they were doing. They did not want zoners to be good.
Now you make me want. Now you make me think about Trish, bro.
You know I gotta do it to you, Floki.
Yeah,
That would be so sick. That would actually be an answer to GT. Because if he power pulled or anything, or
Yup.
like trying to approach with orb, you can literally just have the portal. That's literally the answer.
Yeah, that would be a good. That'd be an interesting idea. And I mean, you might have to help artists with that. Feel me?
Yeah. Speaking of kind of that answer, we got our next answer for our next character, Gogeta. We got the standalone sprite with the level 3 or level 5 that's in the game.
Yeah, the way that they did it, it was like he kind of did like two different moves, you know, because he did the super move. He did, yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was a level 5 for sure. But
People
then
are
to
telling
have,
me people are telling me it's a level 3. I'm like, in what world is it a level 3?
It's too many animations for a level 3.
Yeah, I need
This
to think
dude-
about like that
this
makes
dude
sense. Now about it.
splits the seas with 2 hands and then blows up the world with a beam.
Yeah.
Also, we got a hint at the dramatic finish with Janemba, which is really iconic. So we might have 1 to 2 dramatic finishes.
Yep.
It doesn't confirm one for Broly yet. But it's nice to know we'll at least have one with Gogeta. He doesn't.
Something that was real interesting about that was that it was probably what you were gonna say too, is that he was Super Saiyan
Yeah.
during the dramatic finish.
Yep.
But the character is Super Saiyan got Super Saiyan. So
Right.
it's gonna be interesting to see how they play around with that. Like, is he gonna power down to beat Janemba, which would be so disrespectful?
Oh my
He
god.
might do that. He might, honestly. Gogeta's not on the same level as Vegito when it comes to shit talk, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did that.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that would be crazy for sure.
No, but yeah, I think what are you guys' thoughts on Gogeta now that we have, even though it's a little snippet, the fact that we know he's in the game now, fully, he's on the way. We don't know when.
He is going to be better than Vegito. I have literally no other thoughts other than he's going to be better than Vegito. I know nothing else about this character, and I'm already calling it.
Other than I already know this character.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Vegito's honestly mid tier.
Yeah.
Honestly, so it definitely wouldn't be hard to be better than him.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to see, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was better.
You know the crazy thing is, it's like we're gonna go back like way back. You know, there's a reason why Gogeta is already better than Vegito. Because no one picked him during Budokai Tenkaichi days. Only Gogeta. Only Gogeta. That's bars.
I'm not gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to you, Chief. I liked Vegito. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You are a.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
god.
But anywho. No, but yeah, I'm really excited. It looks like he has the same height as Vegito. It's cool that his level 3 is the shoulder charge.
Yep.
So we don't know how far it's gonna go, similar to Barox.
It's gonna be like 80% of the screen, probably.
Or like maybe it might be a short range one. Maybe like an Android 18.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
where
we
it's
don't-
kind of like like that quarter range.
Also, we don't know if it's an air. We don't know a lot, but we only know is that level 3/level 5.
Will he have a 2L?
Yes, I think both characters are gonna have 2Ls.
No, but you know what though? Somebody brought up a great point to me that I never realized. Every DLC before this has been 1 2L, 1 no 2L. And GT has the 2L for this one.
No,
Oh.
don't say that. Don't jinx it. Don't.
Bardock 2L, Lee no 2L. Who is next? Cooler, no 2L.
Vegito had no 2L, and then Zamasu did.
Yeah, you're right. That was next. And then who was after that? Base Vegeta.
Base Goku, and then base Vegeta.
Base Vegeta 2L, base Goku no 2L.
Oh my god.
And then Android 17 had 2L, but he was announced. Yeah, he was announced second. God damn it, he's not gonna.
So
Janemba's
Janemba's not getting a 2L, is what I'm hearing.
It's looking like Janemba's not gonna have a 2L. You know, unless they try to break the cycle. You know what I mean?
Dude, this is. I'm mad. I'm mad. Cali Mac just did that to me. I feel attacked.
Look,
So what you're saying? So that almost guarantees Gogeta having a 2L.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Unless Broly's going to have the 2L.
They wouldn't go Broly
No,
2L.
no. Let's not think about that. I don't want to think about that right now. I don't want to think about that. When do you guys think he's gonna release?
Broly and Janemba. Well, if
Oh
they do,
no, Gogeta. Do you think it'll come together? You think it'll
No.
do separate still?
well, they've been doing it. What for the whole season 2? It's been one character. Well, it was Jiren and Videl came together,
Yep.
and GT was by himself. Janemba was by himself. And you know what? The way that they announced it, how they gave Gogeta basically no information on Broly, I'm like pretty sure they're gonna do it one at a time again.
I 100% agree with Cali Mac. I don't see them releasing both at the same time. Because they made a big deal of saying Gogeta was coming soon. And then just Broly just didn't even make it into the trailer. It'd be really bizarre for them to be like, oh, by the way, we're just dropping Broly too. Broly is going to come out, my guess is in like November, December, right around the holidays. And we're going to see Gogeta probably sometime September, October.
Yeah,
So
I wouldn't.
So you're saying, okay, so here's the thing, though. I'm kind of going into this quick talk about the World Tour. There's only 2 other Saga events,
Correct.
and they're both basically back-to-back.
I don't think they're going to release them with both Saga events. I think we're going to get one without Saga and one with.
So
I
you
think
think
both in November though, if I'm not mistaken.
they're both in November, though?
I think
That's the
that
thing.
might be when we get
Gogeta?
Broly. I think we're actually going to get Gogeta in like September, October.
I think October is a good range. I think if you have him like released before maybe ECT.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because there's a couple since they released the rest of the roster for the World Tour,
Right.
they can announce really anywhere. And you have a couple like you have Tokyo Game Show still coming up.
Yes.
You still have like all these other conventions like I forget the one that's in Europe. I forget the name of it.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, so you have like a different couple of like cons still going on. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get more information about Gogeta. Probably, I would say probably by the end of September, maybe before Halloween drops. I think Halloween we're gonna have before Halloween we're gonna have.
I agree because I think he's gonna come right around the Halloween update. That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have Broly for that.
And then they put Broly in around the Christmas update.
No, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
That way, everybody's still spaced out.
Yep.
And that way, there's room for the game to develop with those characters. You're not just It's not like what happened with Jiren and Videl, which I'm actually kind of not mad about having characters in single packs versus
Yeah, I feel like Jiren and Videl, while they still aren't like the most insane characters by themselves, I feel like they kind of really got shafted by when they came out. It felt like they didn't get the same level of experimentation as even Android 17 got. It was just very bizarre to me.
Well, Android 17 and Cooler came out at the same time.
Yeah, and people actually tried both of them. I really don't feel like Videl and Jared got a whole lot of time.
I'm just speaking for me because I go to HOC a lot. People on my side would definitely trying their hardest to make Jiren work.
I agree. I agree.
They were for months now. I mean, really trying to get mans to work, but it just wasn't in the stars,
Yeah, and what is it about Jiren? Obviously, it's kind of a bit of a side conversation. It's what would Jiren need to be a threat?
A faster command grab. I feel like his command grab is probably the most reactable in the current game.
You can mash out of it almost every time.
Yeah, you can. It's important.
For it, and I will jump last frame, literally last second, and get out of it. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to jump out of. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just react in general. So I feel like that could be useful. His damage is good. Maybe.
See, it's weird because I feel like he's actually not bad. I feel like having the command grab.
You got Axis using him now. He's not bad.
And even Coach Steve made top. He was the sole Jiren that made top 32 at Evo when he's not touched this game.
Yep.
And God knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
That says something. And he came out with the Colgate Monster, Yosha Machine, and the Avenger.
That team is still wild to me. It still blows my mind that team works.
It's so sick.
But
it's the coolest team in the game.
That's an example of a player making a team work rather than a team working for a player.
It's so sick. I love it.
Absolutely.
I actually love it. No, but yeah, I think Jiren is in like a weird spot. I feel like if they did space, I feel like if they announced anything, I feel like what they could have done is that at the World Tour Finals, because me and Jay were watching the World Tour Finals together. I feel, and we got the leak at the same time.
Yes.
I feel like what they could have did was that if they released Jiren first, like right after the final something, like that Monday,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have before final round, you have Videl come out, and then you just start. I feel like single character packs do way better for the meta versus like packs of two, because packs of two you might have one character that might get shafted. Like base Goku and base Vegeta, for a long time, base Goku was not being touched.
Absolutely.
Pause.
Absolutely.
Pause.
A long time.
Pause.
Pause that.
So much pause, except if you're random fiend. Random fiend.
Cisco.
Cisco, honestly, I feel like, side comment, I feel like Random Fiend's beating himself up. You know why? Because I feel like he's seeing all this base coup, right?
Oh my god.
I mean, I don't know if he misses him.
He's like, I knew. He's like, I knew all along.
What if that was the case, though? You know, if you think about it, like, that would be crazy. Like, there's a lot of characters now that are developed. That, like, before, like, you had players like Random Fiend playing base Goku.
I know, but you
like,
know,
I mean, at the end of the day, now it's, you know, it is what it is. You know, there's a lot of players that like have switched off, and you know, all the power to them. So,
Callie, hit it, man.
You know, I feel like, not to say that Random Fiend's a bad player or that it's his fault. You know what I'm saying? But if you drop the character, if you pick up a character, you shouldn't pick him up or drop him unless you want to. That way you'll be more invested in him, and then you can be the one to discover the things that other people are finding out later. The only reason these other people are discovering these things is because they really put the time and effort into the character. And I'm sure, I can't speak for people like Wawa, but I can speak for Access because I've known Access for months now. Since Base Goku first came out. He's been playing Base Goku since like almost day one. He dropped him a couple times for sure. But he's put the time and effort into the character. And I'm not saying he's not a tech monster. He hasn't really discovered too much of the tech. But he's definitely helped put the character on the map because he liked the character and he just continued to play with them despite what anybody else was saying, or despite a tier list or anything like that. And that's one thing I respect about Access and a lot of the low tier players in general. It takes a lot of balls to do that.
Yeah, I think too. It's like a lot of the players that like are playing like an S tier team, but like they're a very not like obscure team. I think me and Scrott's team is a really good example of that.
Don't you mean Scrot and your team?
Scrott and my team, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Floki.
Sorry, I had to correct myself. I actually said good stuff to him.
No, I know. I just have to mess with you over that.
That's all good. It's actually that is like gonna be the gag until we have Scrot Vermillion on the podcast.
We'll have to get Scrot on at some point. We gotta do this.
Yeah, we have to let this rock for a couple more episodes.
Yeah,
hey.
Callie, I obviously don't know the lore behind this, so I'll give it to you. This was before CEO, and we were making pool predictions, right?
Oh no!
And we were sitting there, and Floki's like, "Okay, so this pool is gonna be this guy, this guy, this guy. Oh, and definitely not Scrot. He plays my team, but he's whack." And then lo and behold, he pops off at CEO, and then he goes to Evo, and he pops off again. And now, to this day, I'll be like, is Scrot gonna make it out of Bulls, Floki?
Yo, that's so good.
I'm just over here, I'm just like, and I'm like,
oh. Anywho.
Yeah, I'm
like, that's actually my thing now.
I do talk about low tiers though, because I liked where you guys were going with this. One of the things that we're starting to see now is before the meta was very much, especially when a game's new, people just want to play what is going to be straightforward, what is easy, and what's going to win, right?
True.
So they're going to pick your Bardoks, you're going to pick your Gokus, right? You're going to pick straightforward, strong options that are relatively plug and play, right?
Yep.
I think we're starting to reach the point in the game's life cycle where now we're watching people go, okay, the top tiers at this point, you know what Bardock does. You know what Goku does. There's not much left. Like, occasionally I'll see Twitter tech that makes me go, wow. But normally most of the stuff I see nowadays is just like kind of a permutation on something we already have. And maybe we put some in a slightly different spot or whatever. Whereas people are starting to look lower on the tier list. And they're starting to pull more and more tech out of these characters. Like Baseku, like Broly, like Android 21. And they're going, wow, these characters are also insanely strong.
Yeah.
And it's why we're getting this character variety now, because people are, the game's going on long enough that now it's kind of like Marvel, right? The meta's evolving. We're starting to look at the mid-tier characters, and you're going to see more and more character specialists. I mean, think about something like Gloomshot or like the compilation channels. I've seen one for every single character at this point because there are specialists at this point in every character in DBZ's roster.
Yeah, I think too. Going back to the Marvel example, like this was like it was like year 2 or year 3, if I'm not mistaken, where we had Rocket Raccoon start to pop up.
Yes.
Like we had Beautiful Joe becoming a threat. You know, we had Rocket Raccoon, Abio Joe, like from Final Round that 1 year, back when Marvel was 2 out of 3. Dark
Marvel,
Ages.
baby.
Dark Ages. Don't ever talk to me about 2 out of 3 Marvel 3 ever. That was Dark Ages.
Big yikes.
Oh
Dark
my
Ages.
god.
But no, but yeah, I think we're at the point in time now where I feel like you're seeing a lot of characters kind of come out of the woodwork. Scamby's another example from New York that like kind of just showed off Nemesis, right? No one played Nemesis really at a high level. He was the only one, to my knowledge. And like you're seeing those kinds of characters, like you're seeing more Beerus now. Like you're seeing more Beerus, you're seeing more 17. Hero made top 8. Listen. If Hero not making top 8 says something about low tiers being potential threats in this game, and like tiers not making or breaking your team, I don't know what does.
No, absolutely.
Like, let's be serious. Like, let's look at Hero's team. It's Android 17, Teen Gohan, and GT, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that puts that together is GT. But those 2 other characters alone are something to be really, really interested about. Like, Johnson in chat brings up 18 adult Gohan. Like, the only reason, like, that machine could work is because of combo extensions. But Shanks makes a really good point to use barrier neutral. We had Jato on the podcast when he talked about Android 18.
Yep.
So it's like, we're at the point now where you mentioned, Jay, like, this game is getting deep. And if your pool of characters or your knowledge on the team of the characters isn't deep enough, you might get
that second part right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Hit it. Yeah, hit it, Callie. Take it.
Like, yeah, because you know what I mean? Floki really hit the nail on the head, you know what I mean? Like, we're just so deep in the game and all these characters are being explored now. If you don't know your MUs, like, MUs are going to get important. Like, they weren't, I'm not going to lie, they weren't as important as, you know, knowing the mechanics and this, that, and the third. But definitely now with all these characters being discovered and more characters being used and more variety in the roster, you know, knowing your MU is very important. Otherwise, you're going to get cooked by a character that you never played or you don't play as often that nobody uses. But because variety is becoming so prevalent, I mean, you're seeing them now. You know what I mean? So I think it just needs to be aware of a lot more characters, you know?
Yeah. Like, how many people do you think lost to his Android 17? How many characters do you think died to... And you know what's funny? I know exactly what was going through a lot of his opponents' head, especially in the early rounds. They're going, what the hell is this trash character? Why do I keep getting hit? Why does my reflex keep whiffing? Why does he keep barrier canceling my guard cancels? Right? And because they don't know. They don't understand the character. And matchups, I think it goes even a little deeper than this. So before, I think you're 100% right, Callie. I think you could completely get away. I think if you understood the top 10 last year, you were good. Like, you
No,
might
right,
run
I
into
agree.
one-off playing like a weird character, but it was kind of like, whatever, the rest of their team's going to be standard.
Yeah.
Now it's changing because not only do you need knowledge on, I would say you need to know how to fight every character in the game except maybe Krillin.
Yeah,
Only
Krillin, no.
because Krillin, unfortunately, is still just non-functional. Besides that, you need to have matchup, but it's not even just like surface level matchup knowledge. You need to like understand their mix. You need to
Yeah.
understand their setups and stuff like that.
Right.
Because if you know, oh, I know Goku Blue like Blueku, right? I know he has a
Yeah.
command grab setup. Do you know his layered command grab setups, or do you just know he
Yeah.
has a command grab? And those are two different
Right.
things.
No, right.
That's very.
Like even going into like Ginyu, right? Like you had that top 10, and then you had obscure characters like yet last year, like
Yep.
Ginyu, like still being very prevalent. You had this is back when Piccolo wasn't as prevalent as he was now, right? Like you
Right.
have players, you have characters like Piccolo, you have characters like Gotenks, you have characters like Ginyu, kind of rearing near the top, and you didn't really see like much variety like past that. You had a couple Team Gohan players, like Chris G, this is back when Teen Gohan he was still playing, like before he dropped in the second time or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
remember the
yeah,
lore.
yeah. That's the bomb.
I don't remember the lore, but in Summer Jam, I remember he was playing Teen Gohan.
Yep.
You had those couple of handful of obscure characters. You had that constant top 10. Now the top 10 is switched, right?
Mm.
But you still have the rest of the 23 characters left in the roster that can still be put with those characters and can be a threat. So it's kind of like a matter of now, and like it kind of goes to show like every person we've had on this podcast has had a unique team in some way.
Mm.
I think
Oh,
the
yeah.
only team, to my knowledge, that was kind of like almost meta, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, was Lord Knights.
So I want to say that's correct. I don't think anyone else had a super standard team. Everyone had at least one off meta character, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we had at least one or two off meta characters. Everybody else had. Well, I think LK was the only exception because LK was running Bardock. Like, oh no, Lowry too. Like Lowry was another. But
Mm.
like everybody else that we've had on the podcast, you can go through the archives. Like you can look at those overlays, and you can literally see a obscure amount of characters on. Like we've talked about Frieza a number of times on this podcast. On like where he stands on the tier list. We talked about Broly. We talked about all these other characters besides the obvious, right? Besides
Yeah.
like about Kibu,
Yep.
right, like because it goes into what you said before, Jay. Like we know about these characters now. It's not like it's not like the formula has changed at all. It's like the formula stayed the same. Let's try like and then like
Let's just try some, add some
variety's the spice of life.
materials. You feel me?
It's the variety's the spice of life, as the old
Agreed.
saying goes.
Yeah.
So
That's real. That's real. I definitely agree with that. Sure.
no, but yeah. So yeah, talk to us a little. So let's go back to a little bit about you, Callie. Talk to us a little bit more, or rather, about Scorpius, because we had a previous Scorpius player on here, Globo. You guys, you could check the VODs for that. But talk to us a little bit about Scorpius and how that came about.
So, Scorpius usually scouts players, and I've been to one of their tryouts before. Like they used to have tryouts and things like that. They're really, yeah. So I actually tried to join Scorpius a while ago, but I was really whack back then. I mean, there was much better players. So I didn't make it back at the time. I think Lotus made it at that time. But the real reason I joined Scorpius was because of the coach. Shout out my guy Doc. That's really my guy right there. So this guy is a fighting game coach.
Okay.
He's played fighting games for a long time. He knows the ins and outs of the mechanics. This, that, and third. He doesn't necessarily play them himself, but he has an extensive knowledge on FGCs, and Dragon Ball in particular, he has a lot of knowledge on, and I've always seen him posting videos and stuff, like little tips and
Yeah.
and this, that, and the third, and he's always told me, I mean, I have potential, and I mean, he's seen it because he's known me for a while. And I mean, for a few months since like the first Scorpius trial. So one day, I can't. I remember what happened, but I can't remember exactly who I was playing or what it was. But I just got my behind destroyed, man, and I was just over it. I was like, yo, I hit him up. I was like, yo, Doc, I need help, man. I need to level up. You feel me? I need something, man. So, he actually told me he was looking for a new player in New York. So, one thing led to another, and he said, I like your determination. I seen the skill, and I mean, I can help you out. You can help me out. And I mean, we need a new player. You want to get better, and I mean, we can work out together, and I mean, and so that's how I ended up joining Scorpius, and I mean, it was really because of Doc, and I mean, because that's the guy, and he's helped me out so much, man. Shout outs to Doc, man. He's elevated my game so much, like from where I was when I joined like 2 months ago. I am in such. I'm not even to say that I'm great because I'm still learning, but I am in such a better place than what I was a few months ago, and I'm just really grateful. I mean, for him, for Scorpius, for everything. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how that.
I respect
I think
that.
too, like, no, yeah, because I remember watching your play, like, before Scorpius and after Scorpius, and I've definitely seen a change. You can, and it's like, even, like, too, like, I think you're kind of your notorious matches to the faulty thing, right? Like,
Yeah,
you can literally see, like, now you're seeing the progression, like, those matches and, like, prior to that, and then you're showing it Defend the North. And, like, that's an example of that. And, like, you have those progressions. The big coaching is it's an interesting thing. I think it's very good when you have somebody that's really knowledgeable in the game kind of
yeah,
in your corner, and like you can like bounce ideas off of, and
yeah.
like, hey, what about this situation? What can I do here? And it's like
Absolutely,
a fun interactive thing. I know.
absolutely, and that's exactly what it is with Doc. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
he'll help me out. Like we have, like he actually lives. I live in Long Island, New York, and he actually lives in Long Island too. So out of coincidence, but so we can meet up at this gaming spot out here, and we can go over stuff in person, which is really good.
Oh, that's
Sick.
huge.
So that's
That's
actually, I
sick.
think that's part of why I've been able to level up a lot faster and easier than a couple other players have, because I can do it in person. But we'll go over lessons and stuff, and he'll show me stuff that he knows. But I can also go to him like, "Yo, Doc, I got this set up. I got this, that, and the third. What can I do here, there, this, that, and the third? And he'll
Yeah.
come to me with that stuff, and I know that 99% of the time, he'll give me the right answer. I mean, he'll give me, what I need to hear. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Now.
It's definitely good to have somebody in your corner like that for sure.
Yeah. Now I know you have some experience in doing this, Jay. How do you feel about FGC coaching?
What? Now I gotta ask. What are you specifically asking me about? Because
So,
FGC coaching's a big
so what I'm
topic.
talking about is like, how do you feel about like hearing about Callie's story? Like, have you had those kinds of
So
with other
the first thing
players?
I will say is, for anyone who's listening to this, what Callie chose to do in this situation, if you are a struggling mid-tier player, is what you should do,
Facts.
10,000%. It
Absolutely.
doesn't matter if it's with an esports org. It doesn't matter if it's with a better player at your local. He recognized that he was not getting to where he wanted to go, but did not have direction to do so. But he used the resources around him to push himself forward. And I mean, that's what you did, Callie. It's like
Yeah,
you've
absolutely.
reached out. You went, hey, and that takes a certain level of humility.
No, absolutely.
Like to
Absolutely.
acknowledge, like, look, I work really hard, but I know I'm not OD right now, right?
No,
I'm
right,
not where
yeah.
I want to be right now. And I know that you are someone who could help me get there. And kind of falling on your sword like that, if more players did that, they would see growth. And so,
Absolutely.
so first off, yo, shout out to you, Callie, because that takes a lot to do, and you
I
did
appreciate
it, and that's huge. Now, as to the kind of the coaching thing on your side, Flo, coaching is kind of an interesting beast in the FGC. I think it's important to not only find a player who's better than you, who's a coach, but I think it's also really important to find someone whose style aligns with yours.
That's very true.
Because the fact of the matter is, every single top player is not going to have a style that aligns with the way you actually are going to play. This is, maybe some players will disagree with me. I honestly believe that every single player has it like starts out as like a big rock, right? But inside somewhere, there's like a play style, which is like their ultimate play style, but it's already there from the start. But it's a matter of trying to chip away at the external, the rough parts, to get to
And
that
like
play style.
Yeah, exactly.
And the
Exactly.
problem is, if you get the wrong coach, they're going to try to mold you into a shape that's not actually going to work for you. It might work for somebody else, but it won't work for you. An example is like, if I was coaching somebody and it's like, okay, who do you want to play like? Oh, I want to play like Goichi. And then I notice you're a hyper aggressive player who's momentum based. Goichi's probably not the person whose match footage you want to be watching. Right?
You know it's crazy because that's actually something that I went over with my coach, you feel me?
Yeah.
Like he from day one, I mean, we watched videos together and he told me about the type of play style that I have, and he from there, and I mean, he was like, it's up to you where you want to go from here. And I mean, whether you want to go, I'll help you get in that direction, but you got to know where you want to go first. I mean, I think that was really important for me to hear. And I mean, instead of just trying to get me to just be be something that I'm not. You know what I mean? That was there from the jump, and I really appreciate it.
100%. Your doc, your coach, that is exactly, in my opinion, what you should be doing as a coach. Whether you're in any kind, like I've coached sports, I've coached different FGC stuff, I've coached card games, I've done like bits of coaching around. One of the biggest things for me, and what I think helps people you're teaching grow the most, is empowering them. You want the person that you're coaching to feel like, hey, I can do this. I have something here that's already worth working on. Now, but I will say the caveat to this is they have to be receptive. Because here's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's say Callie had come in, right? Callie, let's say you came to me for coaching, and you came into me and you're like, yeah, I'm the best player in my region. No one's even close to me. Like, I just, it's such a blow up whenever I go to these majors, but these guys, like, they just jank me out with stuff. We're going to have a very different conversation, right? My conversation with you is not going to be like, oh, yeah, no, no, it's going to be like, all right, you got to check your ego at the door, right? You got to check that, because one of the problems is people get too defensive. A lot of people tie their ego to their fighting gameplay, and this is something that I think the FGC kind of, as a culture, needs to step away from a little bit. We treat people very heavily in this community based on their results, based on their play. This is really, really common, is you'll see the good players will talk to each other, and the bad players are almost like an afterthought, right? They're just kind of body fillers. They're the guys who help make sure that I can get my pot at the end of the night, right? I'm sure you've all kind of heard some of this, stuff like in the background. Now, granted, people don't like to talk about this, right? But I think it's important, and I think this is one of the things that needs to be addressed is, as players, as people who are trying to be like coaches or pillars of your community, whatever, you need to be encouraging. You need to create a positive environment that makes people go, damn, I'm not good right now. I'm willing to admit I'm not good right now, but they're going to pull a Callie Mack, and they're going to go, I'm going to find the resources I need, and I'm going to get good. Instead of feeling like, oh, I'm just never going to be good because he says my play style's trash. It's like when somebody calls someone a masher, right? When you take someone's entire play style and you say they're a masher. Now, granted, I literally watched a replay where a guy hit the light button for like 45 seconds. And that man, I don't know, maybe he's truly the masher, right? He only had one key on his fight stick, right? But for most people, even at a lower level, you can start seeing the seeds of what their play style is going to look like, right? Like some people, you'll see like they naturally are more defensive. They're kind of passive. If a passive player, show them how to be a defensive player. If they're super aggressive, teach them how to be measured in their offense, know when to pull back, stuff like that. Let players be what they want to be. And I think, Callie, you brought up an excellent point. Having a coach, having a community that goes, hey, whatever you want to be, we're going to help you get there.
Yeah. And I wanted to bring up too with Connecticut in particular, I've had a couple instances where I've had not coaching, but I've sit down with people one-on-one.
Yeah.
I've actually shout out to Mozo. I don't know. He came over. We ran 80 games straight.
Yep.
And we talked in between and things like that, but I kind of made sure I was okay, one thing we wanted to work on was trying to flesh out Vegito, right?
Yep.
Vegito kid boosting. So I was like, okay, so what can we do with it? Could pick up Yamcha, and like I asked opinions. I think that's the one thing too. It's, if you ask someone to switch characters, please ask their opinions first before you're just like, oh, what
You
do you
should
think
drop
about
this
this
character.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like whatever. I think that's the most important part. Like, if you have a character that you want to centralize, like I'm working with Pinnacle. I don't know if you're listening to this. He's another Vegito player, and he was like, I want to like have a team with Vegito on it. I'm like, okay, so here's some ideas that you can. I brought up a couple teams from the past from other players, and I've also brought up how he's been already playing because I've already had match footage of him. And then what I did was I ran the Vegito mirror and see what he knew.
Yep.
Right.
And just like, granted, I was playing a totally different team. I was playing Vegito Trunks Yamcha against Vegito Gotenks Tien, but you kind of got to see like a different style, and I think it's important to be like you said before, like being that pillar. Like I actually try to make it a point to talk to every single player, at some point throughout the night if I can. Whether just check in on them, make sure they're good, how their week was, and then also like if they have questions, like what I've been doing, and like I really hope if when you get your Discord, make sure you sub to Cali Mac. You do.
I was gonna say, be sure to
Make sure you
support Cali Mac. This
hit that
guy is
hit that
absolutely
hit that sub.
incredible, and I only see this man going up from here.
So
100%.
one thing I've been doing is actually I've been sitting in the DBFZ. So we have a DBFZ room, and I have my own personal Discord server.
Yeah.
I sit in the voice channel, and I wait for somebody.
Okay.
And the reason I do that is that I make myself available. So if they see me randomly in the chat, it's like, hey, hey, I
Yeah.
was waiting for somebody to like link up. So it's I think it's important that like to be there for everybody. There's a lot. We do have a lot of top players like in like throughout the state, like in each state now. But I think it's important for us as a community to also come together, to enforce that we all want everybody to be better. We all want to be what happened this past weekend. We all want to be that Goichi Sonic Fox moment.
Word.
We all
Now,
want to be on that same level.
no, absolutely, and I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of people have that elitist mentality, especially like the top players.
It's like, oh,
Yeah, and it sucks, because it turns off people from that want to get into it and that are trying to get better. I mean, because they can't, like, thankful for me, I found my coach, but they can't find that person to help them get to that next level because a lot of the good players have that elitist mentality. I don't want to play with you, what I mean? I'm trying to play against better players, you know what I'm saying? And that shit is stupid.
it's unfortunate, but like, you have a couple players that you can like kind of rely on, in your scene, and make sure you guys use those. Like, if there's one thing you guys can take away from it, low tiers are good. You can make anything work, and make sure you guys talk to everybody. I don't care how big, I don't care how small. Make sure you check in on everybody.
Well, one thing I will say, because this does kind of cut back the other way, right? Is
Mhm.
I
That's
think
true.
one thing that a lot of newer players or less talented players do, they tend to put a lot of these strong players on a pedestal and and in their heads make those people seem unapproachable. Like
Mhm.
I have seen this happen time and time again because like I don't think you can lay all like you can't lay all the blame for why something is the way it is in a community at any one person's feet or any one group's feet because it's all part of a big system, right? Like the top players, yeah, they only want to play against better players because
Right.
think about it, even the best guy at your locals, there's better players who won't talk to him. You know what I mean? It's all he's focused. He's like, I got to get to my next level. I got to get my sponsorship. I got to do X. I got to do Y. I got to do Z. So he's going to want to interact with people who are going to help advance that goal. And the newer player's not going to do that. But at the same time, if you're one of those players, while you're still grinding, you're aiming for your goals, don't be afraid and kind of keep. I think once you start improving as a player, it's important to remember where you came from.
Absolutely.
That's
Keep the
important.
humility inside of you, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's important. And like, kind of going back to that really quick, like, granted, like me and Jdiesel have done that. With Jdiesel doing the PRZ, me would do the summit. I think it's very, and like, I think it kind of like it's important to be that pillar. You have places like Massachusetts that are putting like putting strong players together, like Young Fish, Hypnotic, all these players. People
Shout out
really
Young Fish.
working together. Like communities are working together now versus the past where you have like that elite mentality. Granted, it's still gonna be there, like and it's something you can't change. But the whole saying goes, "Be the change you want to see."
Absolutely,
So
absolutely. You got to put that effort in, and
seriously,
you have to. Sometimes you just got to be the catalyst in order to spark the change. I 100% agree with
true.
what you said for sure.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well then, boys.
yeah, it's all stuff like that. I mean, and part of it is like communal change. It's one step at a time. Everyone's not going to just come in one day on Discord and be like, "All right, guys, we're going to completely change how we're all going to be." It's a thing that happens over time, and you really do have to kind of take those initial steps. And if you're a player who's not as good, try to involve yourself more in your community, because I mean, most communities, there are going to be people who will like work with you, who will talk to you. If you can't find someone at your locals, look online, check Reddit. Just reach out wherever you can. Find a community, join a Discord server, join Cali Mac, join Alucard, join someone like that who's going to have a community. Find games,
Right.
just talk
Absolutely.
to people. There is. It's not 1990. There are communities that are at your fingertips all over the place, and you can find them. But sometimes it's going to require putting in a little bit of legwork, and I think it's completely worth it. But
Absolutely, I feel like a lot of people do get a little nervous and
yeah,
want to stick to themselves. But if you gotta branch out, that's the only
it's
way
normal. Everyone in this community, from the guy who goes 0-2 to Goichi and Sonic Fox, are all people. And I will personally say, having met a lot of top players at this point, which I'm very fortunate to have done. I've had a lot of conversations, like, half an hour conversations with people who at one point I thought would never give me the time of day. People who I can now call my friends, who when I started out were like these mythical top players, right? Like, who are these guys? And the fact of the matter is, like, if you treat them with respect, but if you come to a top player, do not come at them like they owe you something. This is one big mistake I've seen a lot of people make. Top players do not want you to go, "Hey, I need to get better. Tell me what to do." That's not helpful. That's not helpful to them. It's not helpful to you. You need to come in with like a specific question. Like, "Hey, I'm working on neutral. Can you help me?" But you know what? That's whole nother can of worms. But honestly, we are just about at the end of our time here. So I got to say, it has been an absolutely phenomenal episode of Under the Radar today. And absolutely. And Cali Mac, what we like to do here at UTR is the closing time. We like to kick it over to you. 5 minutes. Anything you want to talk about, shout out, shill, whatever you want to do. Don't hold back. This time is all you. Take it away, my man. It's you time, man. It's closing time. Hit it, man.
Not me.
In time. Yeah, I really don't even know what to say.
No, anyone you want to shout out, talk about? You want to, whatever, your org, anything.
Nah, I just shout out my Twitch, I guess. Make sure y'all follow.
Yeah, there we go. Shill it. Come on. Get it. Brand yourself, Cali Mac. Do it.
Come on, son.
My Twitch at Cali_Mac. Feel me? I'm streaming all the time. I mean, I do open lobbies and stuff. And third, I like to think I'm kind of funny, so you'll get entertained if you stop by,
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I also make music.
Ooh.
Music is actually like my first passion, and I mean, gaming has always been a big passion of mine. But it honestly just recently came back into the limelight after Fighters came out.
Okay.
And actually speaking, I didn't play video games for maybe 2-3 years until not Fighters, but Fortnite came out. I'm not gonna lie, I was
Really?
a Fortnite player. I was a big Fortnite player for all of 2018.
Okay.
2017, 2018. I was big on Fortnite, man. So that brought me back to the gaming world, and then Dragon Ball just solidified it. Like, yo, I'm in this. I'm back. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, music has always been my first passion. I mean, I got a SoundCloud if people want to check it out. It's the same as my Twitch at Cali_Mac.
Yeah, and his Twitch is in the chat, guys. So if you guys look in the chat, his Twitch link is right there. Be sure to click on that. Drop this man a follow. Sub to him. Absolutely class act, boys.
I don't know where my hands are going. I just don't know where I'm pointing at.
Floki, you're in the exact wrong corner, but you know what? It's okay. You were really energetic about it.
I'm over here. I'm just like, yo, it's okay.
I appreciate the effort, though, big dog. For real.
I got you, brother. No, seriously, thank you so much for coming in and talking about Teen Gohan, Evo. Are you playing Janemba when he drops?
I'm definitely gonna play him. The question is if I'm gonna stick with him, and that's really gonna depend on
Like,
everything we talked about. It's mostly that point thing because if I play him, I'm gonna have to drop Kid Buu. So he's gonna have
Yeah.
a good character in order for me to play him. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna just try him out and see what it hits for him. I mean, I might make a second team for him. Who knows?
All right.
So, so next week we do have our guest locked in,
Uh-oh.
and I'm not saying who it is.
Yes.
Do you want a hint? Does the chat want a hint?
Oh, God.
Do they deserve a hint?
Give him a hint. Give him a hint.
He knows Calimac.
Ooh.
That could be anybody.
Oh, my God. That's anybody in New York. What?
Take your guess.
Uh-oh.
Take your
New
take your
York is
guesses.
on the menu for next week, guys.
Yeah, tweet it out. Use the hashtag UTR. I will drop that in chat. Use the hashtag UTR. Tweet at us at JD at FlokiFGC. Make your guesses. Who do you?
Yeah, and be sure
who knows
to
Calimac?
follow us all on Twitter. Floki, myself, Callie Mac, all phenomenal. Be sure to get through. I'm gonna plug myself, obviously. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us as always. Whether you tuned in live on Twitch or whether you're listening to this on YouTube, I appreciate you guys so much. You really make this all possible. But anyways, that is gonna do it for me. I have been Jdiesel.
I have been Floki.
And this has been Cali Mac on the track. Bring it back.
Oh!
Okay. Yo, why are you gonna do it like that?
Yo, all right. Well, on the most fire outro of 2019, that is going to be it. Peace out, guys. I'm going to kick y'all over to Roman Nova after this. Peace.